Hey! Hey! Fat guy's wearing that striped shirt again. Fat guys aren't supposed to wear striped shirts? Yeah, I know, whatever. Chill out. A lot of people asked about original Buddhism, and I got a second video coming up after this with a surprise inside. Some great texts that are free download. Several of which that I wrote. If you'll check that out, that's immediately after this video. As for original Buddhism, there's 17. By the way, I've been translating ancient Pali. That's P-A-L-I, by the way. That's the ancient dead language, been dead now for 2 millennia, longer than that actually, of the pre-sectarian corpus of Buddhism. In other words, long before the Theravadins, those yellow-robed guys running around Southeast Asia, long before Mahayana, and infinitely long before Zen, which isn't Buddhism at all. And long before Theravada came around, was composed. This is, by the way, as mentioned on the 13th Pillar Edict of King Ashok from the 4th century BCE, possibly a little bit earlier than that. Anyway, the axis mundi of liberation, because of the countless decades that I've been debating Buddhists, and I don't debate for the purpose of debate, it's about arriving at facts, being a truth seeker. And that's of primary importance. And they've only ever found one passage that they use to refute this 17-point proprietary list, and I'll hit that first, but it actually doesn't say what they think it says. And unfortunately in English we don't have a distinction between mentation or thinking, mentation, which in Pali is manna, and empirical consciousness, which in Pali is vijnana, or also too of mind, in ancient Pali, which is chitta. Yeah. By the way, the same word in ancient Pali, chitta, is the same word in ancient Egyptian, which is chit. But let's not talk about that. But anyway, chitta is the same ancient Greek word as nous. Yeah, the spiritus sancta, if you will. You want to use the Latin, you should know what that is, the spirit. But English doesn't distinguish between mind, mentation, i.e. thinking, and empirical consciousness, but all forms of ancient metaphysics do. And the Buddhist scholars, and I use quotation, air quotes when I say Buddhist scholars, they think there's one passage that refutes this, but it doesn't. The chitta, or the nous, i.e. the spiritus sanctum, which I'm about to talk here, and this is about original Buddhism and what it actually taught, versus everything you read today from these, various teachers that are, just making stuff up as they go. Because as I've famously said over the decades, what you said is interesting, but I don't care what you think or what I think. I'm only interested in what it actually taught, what the teachings actually say. And that makes people really mad. And it shouldn't make anybody mad. It's like, I'm interested in what it actually did teach. Not what so-and-so teacher said that was passed to another. None of that is original. It's not original at all. I'm interested in the original article. Anyway, they use a passage from Doctrine. It has 3 occurrences. I think there's 4 possibly. I can't remember if there's 3 or 4. Anyway, it says itabi chitta, itabi manna, itabi vijnana. It lumps mentation, empirical consciousness, and the nous, i.e. chitta, together. But the only reason it lumps them together is talking about the consciousness and the nous and the mentation of a worldling, or it doesn't mean worldling, it means fool. In the ancient Pali, the word is putujana, which sounds like you're spitting. In other words, it's saying that the unpurified, the unactualized, because free will is only potential. People don't have free will naturally. They have free will potentially. An unintelligent, foolish person does not have free will because it's unactualized. It's like a person living on $1 billion of gold, but it's like 100 feet below their feet. They're still poor as dirt because they haven't actualized it. They haven't mined down to get the gold, right? It's not, an acorn is not an oak tree, right? An acorn is genetically identical to an oak tree, but an acorn ain't an oak tree, is it? Potential versus actual. So what they do in the profound ignorance and myopic, just sheer, absolute agnosis, metaphysical ignorance of the highest magnitude. What they do is say, well, this passage right here, it says chitta, manna, and vijnana are the same thing. It doesn't say that at all. It says the chitta, manna, vijnana of the unilluminated, i.e. the fool, the patujana. are one and the same thing. It's in flux because it is mere potential. It is not actualized. The only thing that nirvana is substantially called, which is in Pali nibbana, is suvimutta chatasa nibbana, which translated to English means the thoroughly or fully liberated suvimutta, thoroughly liberated chitta, i.e. nous, i.e. Spiritus Sancta, is nirvana. In other words, nirvana is the thoroughly liberated chitta. Liberated from what? By what? Liberated from agnosis, false identity. In other words, it is purified. But you don't purify gold. When we say purify gold, right here, this is actually a gold leaf on this apple. When we say purify gold, gold is never purified itself because gold is gold is gold, right? Right. When we say purify gold, we mean extract it out from its base metals, right? It's like you got a big lump of rock with some gold in there. So you got to break up the rock and process it and do all this crazy garbage to it to separate out. That's what we call purifying gold, right? Right? But gold itself is never purified. The chitta is never pure. It's extracted from the matrix of the rock of agnosis. A perfect analogy. I just came up with this on the fly, by the way. Extracted from the rock of agnosis, of primordial, not conventional or worldly ignorance, but primordial agnosis. Ignorance is really an incorrect word. English is unrefined on some really hardcore words of metaphysics. Anyway, I don't know how much of this 17 proprietary point list that you want me to go through, but in doctrine, because what Buddhism actually teaches, because which is the only thing I'm interested in. Well, my teacher taught, well, I don't care what your teacher taught. I'm only interested in what Buddhism actually teaches. Nobody translates Pali. I mean, it's been dead now for 2,000 years. Nobody has the time to spend countless years, nor do they have the natural skill set. Almost nobody does. I mean, I sound like I'm gloating, but they don't, to see what's being said in these dead languages. Chitta is the only thing which is said to obtain the state of anupada, or non-clinging. This is immortality, that being the liberated suvimutta chatasa, which does not cling after anything. Majjhima Nikaya 2.265. Point 2. Chitta is the only thing which is said to be obtained the state of taintless, anasava. Digha Nikaya 2.35, Majjhima Nikaya 1.501, Majjhima Nikaya 3.20, Samyutta Nikaya 3.345. This is my list, by the way. I compiled this list, and it's even more than 17 points. These are the 17 proprietary, extreme importance points about the chitta. Chitta is the only thing that is obtained or gathered in the realm of immortality, amatya datya. He gathers the chitta within the realm of immortality, amatya datya. This is tranquility. This is that which is most excellent. Majjhima Nikaya 1.436. Also, Majjhima Nikaya 2.265, Anguttara Nikaya 1.282. Same passage. Chit is the only noun which is said to be the basis, aramana, for parinibbana. In other words, complete nirvana. Peri, transcendental nibbana. Said immediately after Gautama's death, Digha Nikaya 2.157. No longer was obsessed by breath is the incorrect word. It's actually animation, but that's another point here. Gautama is steadfast in chitta. Yada yada. Majjhima Nikaya Atthakara 4.68. Samyutta Nikaya 3.45. The chitta is so liberated and arisen from defilements, is fixed within the soul as liberation. The soul, or the Atman, and the chitta are distinctions really without a difference within doctrine. That's not my position. That's a doctrinal fact. The chitta is the only thing which is differentiated from the five khandhas. This flies 100%, 180 degrees contrary to all those guys running around in yellow robes in Southeast Asia, Laos, Burma, Thailand. Completely contradictory. They don't believe anything is ab extra of the five khandhas. Whatever Rupa, Vedana, Sana, Sankara, Vijnana, i.e. the forms, feelings, perceptions, and experiences in consciousness, i.e. the five aggregates, he sees these as sting, suffering, plague, yada yada yada, as empty, as shunyata, as selfless, anattata. So he turns the chitta away from these, That contradicts 100%, not my opinion, in fact, contradicts 100% of the dogma of the Theravadins of Southeast Asia. By the way, that's where Westerners got their idea about Buddhism, because the early Germans and English folk, they traveled to Sri Lanka in southern India. It's like, what does Buddhism teach? And they weren't actually taught doctrine, they were taught Abhidhamma, which is latter-day sectarian creation, which is highly dogmatic and completely unconnected to earliest or original Buddhism. Number 6, Chitta is the only thing which, when perfected by Samadhi, equals the Atman, steadfast in the soul, or Titatati, means supremely fixed within the Chitta. Yeah? That's Sakilabhata Arakara 1.168. Chitta is the only thing that's said to be basis for the medium of recollection of past lives. He directs the Chitta to the recollection of past lives, Dignikaya 1.81. Chitta is the only thing said to be its own foundation, not based in anything else. Anarmana. There's a 17-point list. I don't know if you want me to go through all 17 points. I might bore the hell out of you, but I mean, it goes on and on and on. And the Chitta is the only thing that is compared to the indestructible diamond. Anguttara Nikaya 1.124. I won't read the passage. I'll bore the heck out of you. The entire Aryatangika Magga, the entire Noble Path, is said to be beginning and ending with the Chitta. Majjhima Nikaya 1.197. The Chitta is the only thing that is said to be the light realm, the heavenly realm. He directs the Chitta towards auspiciousness and heavenly realm. Chitta is the only noun which is freed from nescience. That is so important. Chitta is the only noun within doctrine that is freed from primordial agnosis, or in Pali, avidya, or in Sanskrit, avidya. Majjhima Nikaya 1.279. With steadfast Chitta, was perfectly purified, perfectly illuminated, stainless, utterly perfect, pliable, sturdy, fixed. Doctor directs the Chitta towards the gnosis of the destruction of defilements, on and on and on. And his mind is emancipated from agnosis. The Chitta is emancipated from avidya. That also, too, contradicts 100% of current-day dogmatic sectarian Buddhism. 100% of it. The only noun that is said to obtain the state of emancipation, or vimutta, is the Chitta. Hence the compound Pali term Chitta Vimutta. Yeah? I can go on through 14, 15, 16, and 17. There's actually more than that. Point being, without boring the heck out of you, old Uncle Kenny, just telling you right now, this is actually what Buddhism does teach. Yeah? This is contrary to all those yellow-robed guys running around Southeast Asia. Bless their hearts. I don't care what people believe. I'm not trying to convert anybody to anything. But as I said already, and this is kind of my clincher that I've used for many years in debating these people, I am not interested in what you think, feel, or believe about Buddhism. I'm only interested in what it actually did teach. I love it when people think I'm being angry. You're angry. You're full of hatred. No, I'm not. I am consistent, I'm logical, and I'm a truth seeker. I'm only interested in someone that translates ancient Pali and has been doing so for a long time, and also, too, a prodigy of language translation, which my professors in college said, you're a prodigy at translating language. Yeah, great. Doesn't pay anything, right? Pays very little. This is what it actually does teach. Yeah, I've spent enormous amounts of years of my life studying the original thing. Didn't listen to a bunch of talking heads out there. This is a holy so-and-so sitting on his cushion burning incense. Bless you if you like that, but I'm not interested in that. I'm actually interested in what it did teach. And what it did teach is sublime, logical, consistent, beatific. Here's a great word we should use today, beatific. So, there you go. This is what happens when you know stuff. It's like, what you said's interesting, but that's not actually what it teaches. Oh, God. Did I make my point abundantly clear on that one? I hope I did. I hope I did make it abundantly clear. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this video, and have a good evening.